Get up, you son of a bitch! Cause Pawn's drunk loves ya.
You already know this is Pawn's Drunk Boxing, aka Mr. Moonshine himself, aka El Adobo, aka El Sazón, aka El Borracho, aka Café Bustelo, aka El Pastor de Boxeo. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are this side of heaven. God bless you all. Shit, boxing is gonna get real busy. It's gonna get real busy. Y'all already know. Starts this Saturday. Right now, today, later on, UK, you already know, sons of the legends, two sons of the legends, Conor Benn, son of the Dark Destroyer, Nigel Benn, Chris Eubank Jr., son of Chris Eubank Sr. It's going to be one of the biggest events in the UK. Shout out to everybody that's you know what I'm saying, that made this fight possible. Nice to see Nigel Benn, you know, support his son, Conor Benn. Would have liked to see Chris Eubank Sr. support his son, but we're gonna be talking about what's happening with the father and son, you know, duo, because y'all already know, y'all follow the channel. I always say that fatherhood is prominent in the sport of boxing, and I hope that Chris Eubank Sr. finds a way in being in the corner of his son. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Y'all already know. And then this week, Fight week. Randy, dímelo, mi hermano, in the building. Randy, la música de la música de Randy, la música de Randy. Vamos, la música de Randy. Energy. Y vamos a hablar de eso también. We're going to be talking about that. Dominican versus Puerto Rico. Alberto Puello versus Subriel Matias for the WBC Junior Welterweight title belt. Ay. Una discusión que vamos a tener ahora. No. Shout out to all the Puerto Ricans. Shout out to all Dominican. Ya tú sabes. DJ Camelo Ale Sensation. Págame la música. Yankee Ting. All right, my friend. Yeah, man. Yeah, Eubank is there, man, walking. Man, he looked horrible. We're gonna be talking about that, man. The weigh-in was today. As we all know, Chris Eubank Jr. did miss weight. I think it was 160.2, and then he weighed in again 160.5. He also said they didn't even let him pee. They didn't let him pee. If he wanted to cut his facial hair, they didn't let him cut his facial hair. So there's a lot of politics going on in the sport of boxing, as we all know. But in that situation, it's been politics since day one. But of course, we want to talk about the breakdown, the technical side of things. I think a lot of people just keep on. I think a lot of people haven't even talked about the technical side of things. Even the pundits that's supposed to be covering this fight, they're not really talking about. They're just saying, okay, Chris Eubank Jr. has more experience, older, been in this limelight. Conor Benn hasn't been, doesn't have these type of experience. But we're not talking about the X's and the O's. We ain't talking about the power. We ain't talking about the speed. We ain't talking about the way one fighter uses his jab. Establish the jab, footwork, defense. A lot of people ain't even talking about the breakdown technical wise of this fight. We're going to be talking about that as well, and also the dynamic of father and son, the dynamic of legendary fighters, you know what I'm saying, legendary fathers as well. Also, man, like again this week coming up, you already know the most anticipating fighters. Right, Devin Haney's gonna step back in the ring. We haven't seen him since he got his butt whooped by Ryan Garcia April 20th of last year. We haven't seen Ryan Garcia as well because he was suspended. It looks like Devin Haney. Remember the video when I said, "Damn, it looked like Devin Haney suspended himself too." You know what I'm saying? So we haven't seen both of these fighters back in the ring since then. As we all know, this week, Times Square, New York City, my city, Fatal Fury. Shout out to Turkey Out Shake. Shout out to the Modern Day Warriors, Modern Day Gladiators, the one that put their life on the line for pure entertainment. This week starts it off. You don't already know. Grand Arrival on Monday. I think the press conference is on Tuesday or Wednesday. Yeah. The press conference on Wednesday. The workout media day is on Tuesday. Press conference on Wednesday, weigh-in is on Thursday, and then fight is on Friday, and then after Friday, Teofimo Lopez is going to be facing Arnold Barbosa, as we all know as well. So Teofimo Lopez is going to be putting his belt on the line, his lineal title, his WBO title on the line versus Arnold Barbosa, one of the most respectable mandatory challengers in the sport of boxing. But then the next day, we got Canelo Alvarez, the full division world champion, super middleweight undisputed, King Nelo, aka Cartelo, aka Cash Nelo, aka Payday, aka get the F out of here, man, versus William Skull, the IBF belt holder. You know what I'm saying? I just ain't gonna call people champions just to call them champions. Call them a belt holder because we all know who's the rightful undisputed champion is, and that's Canelo Alvarez. He never got beaten in the 168-pound division. You know what I'm saying? But we all know what that fight is all about. That fight is to, for Canelo Alvarez to get the IBF strap back so that he could go to September and actually have the undisputed crown with him to challenge. So Bud Crawford could challenge Canelo Alvarez for it, as that's a fight that a lot of people is talking about, anticipating the fight. I'm not a big fan of the matchup. In my opinion, it is a mismatch, but we're gonna correlate the situation, the weights. They always say in the sport of boxing that there's weight classes for a reason, and there's people out there that's like, yo, I don't know, man. Chris Eubank Jr. don't look good. Miss weight. Got fined. I think it was $500 million. And there's a rehydration clause. Now let's be real. Let's be honest. A lot of people ain't giving a lot of headache to Conor Benn. But we did give a lot of headache to Gervonta Tank Davis when he did that to Ryan Garcia. To this day, people still talking about, the rehydration clause, the catch weight, the rehydration clause, blah, blah, blah. Now, this ain't a catch weight, but there is a rehydration clause. And the thing is that it's not a catch weight. Matter of fact, it is a catch weight for a Chris Eubank Jr. that has fought in the 168-pound division. But even though that he has fought last 4 fights in 160 pounds. So there is, I understand if people's arguing, but man, he's been fighting in the middleweight division. Why he's acting like he came down from like the cruiserweight division and acted like he can't make weight when he's been making weight all this time in the middleweight division. It looks like you overeat and overhydrate, my boy. Lose that weight. I don't know, brother. I may soon. I'm glad you're looking at me and looking at my health and stuff like that. But anyway, yeah. Anyway, let's talk about the situation. Now Chris Eubank Sr. has been against this fight, right? He's been against this fight. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that his father doesn't respect his son fighting this fight. But I understand, because look, it seems like what Chris Eubank Sr. been saying all this time. He's speaking facts, because look, his son couldn't make weight, and he feels like the first go around, the first negotiations, the first fight was going to be in 157 pounds, and he said they're trying to kill my son. And imagine if that was in 157 pounds. Yeah. Chris Eubank Sr. knows his son better than anybody else. He knows this business. He knows this sport, and he knows that he feels like they're doing an injustice to his son and the name, but it is what it is. His son chose to fight. Chris Eubank Jr. Well, he will have to really, like, I see two sides of things, man. I see the positive of this event. I know this event is only because of the rivalry of the fathers. But if you're not getting the blessing of your father, in which I use in his name, this is the only reason this fight is happening is because of the fathers. So yeah, it makes sense for Conor Benn to do this because Nigel Benn is supporting his son. But if your father is not supporting you to fight Conor Benn and use the name and the legacy or whatever then what's the reason for Chris Eubank Jr. doing it? You know what I'm saying? Because the only way this makes sense is if you're getting the blessings from your dad. But if you're not even getting the blessings for your dad, and it's So what are you doing it for? You know what I'm saying? That's a question I think that a lot of people haven't even asked Chris Eubank Jr. And I think it's a little bit too late already, because I said the fight is gonna be today. But nobody asked him that question. Like, you saying you wish that your father was here, right? And I understand that. I understand that. You know what I'm saying? I've been a little upset because I always say that fatherhood is prominent in the sport of boxing. And I always fight for fatherhood. So when you see a son, he's not a knucklehead. Like Chris Eubank Jr. doesn't get in trouble. He don't get locked up. He's not like that. You know what I'm saying? He's just a fighter. And all he wants is his father to be in his corner. And his father's calling him out publicly, saying that he's a disgrace and things of that nature. Come on, man. That's uncalled for. He's still your son, and he's a fighter, and this is his job. You know, at the end of the day, right? But the question for Chris Eubank Jr. is, if your father is not giving you the blessings, the only reason you fighting Conor Benn. The only reason you fighting Conor Benn is supposed to be because of the rivalry of the fathers. But you're not getting the blessing for your dad. So what are you really fighting for? You fighting for the money? You fighting for the stuff? Because that's the only reason why it got to be the only reason why you got to drain yourself and suffer like this, is just because of the money. It's not because of the Eubank legacy. So that's something that I got to question Chris Eubank Jr. about. It doesn't feel right, and it should feel uncomfortable if your father's not even giving you the blessing to fight a fight that only matters because of the fathers. But I think there's gonna be a good fight. I think there's gonna be some. There's a lot of disadvantages and advantages. I think that Chris Eubank Jr. doesn't have too much advantage. We see him; he looks skinny. He look like, he don't look the same. He seems like he suffered a lot, and also seems like he's going to be suffering again, because he got the rehydration, the 10-pound rehydration clause, in which he can't come over 170 pounds. So he can't. So right now, he probably currently ain't eating, ain't drinking. But this is what I'm going to say. I want Chris Eubank Jr. to not obey the 10-pound rehydration clause. If Chris Eubank Jr. is smart, he will say, F the rehydration clause. Turkey Al-Shea gave me a blank check. It doesn't matter. I'm going to go over the weight limit. It is what it is. Y'all still gonna want the fight. Everybody bought the tickets. Everybody got their plane ticket, their hotel ticket. You know what I'm saying? Everybody gonna watch the fight. Conor Benn been one of this fight since day one. Nigel Benn wants it. Everybody in the UK wants it. The broadcasters want it. Turkey wants it. The people with money, the business handlers want it. At the end of the day, if I was Chris Eubank Jr., I'll say F it. I'm coming in at one pause. I'm gonna be 178, 179, 180. I'm coming in that way. If Chris Eubank Jr. is smart, because in all reality, how you say it, morally wise, Chris Eubank Jr. should not be the one that's suffering. He should be, because at the end of the day, the record is 1-0. We're leading. You need us. The Eubank doesn't need the Benns. The Benn needs the Eubank. Conor Benn needs this for his father to tie up the scoreboard. So I understand Chris Eubank Sr. and Dad, like, yo, what are we doing? Why is we going to that level? We're Eubank. We're Great Britain. What's this? You don't have to. That's. Shout out to Chris. That's breaking the rules. It's breaking the rules. Yeah, I'm talking to you. It's breaking the rules. I know this. Shout out to Reps on Boxing Out of the Voice of the UK, London, bruv. I know this. My son doesn't listen. He don't listen. I told her he come from the 168 pounds to make that weight. It's blasphemy. Blasphemy. Shout out to Chris Eubank. Man, you better be on your son corner, Chris Eubank. Yeah, at the end of the day, man. Again, I feel like not having his and look, the most emotional part in that press conference, it was when he was talking about pain, right? He said, "Pain, man, you ain't gonna basically you're not gonna inflict pain on me. You know what's pain is my brother, my 31-year-old brother, buried in the Dubai desert. You know what I'm saying? His son, my nephew, that's still calling for his dad. Where's my dad? When is he ever gonna take me to school now?" Chris Eubank Sr. Sebastian's son. I think what's his name, Matthew or something. I think so. He's 3 years old. So how is he How is he telling you when he's gonna take me to school? I don't know. Hey, yo, Rapstar in the UK. Does kids go to school at 3 years old? Maybe is it pre? Because he said, I think that Chris Eubank Jr. added that one there, but it was emotional. And then he said, when his father though, and my idol, that's been my idol my whole life, my father doesn't want to speak to me. He feels like I'm a disgrace. Sad. But if I was Chris Eubank Jr., nursery, right? So it's not school. It's not school, right? How the 3-year-old's gonna be like, why my daddy's not here to take me to school? Come on, Chris Eubank Jr. Come on now. You don't gotta add to it. But I feel him, I understand. But yeah. If I was Chris Eubank Jr., man, forget about the rehydration clause, man. I'd do what Danny Jacobs did with Canelo Alvarez. Even though that Danny Jacobs still lost to Canelo Alvarez, but I do what Danny Jacobs did. F it, man. F that rehydration clause. Yo, let me tell you like this. For fighters, because that's one of the saddest things that's one of the things I hate about the sport of boxing. If there's one thing that I don't like about the sport of boxing, or I probably don't like, that, it's sad. Regardless about the corruptions and politics in the sport of boxing, robberies in the sport of boxing, that's going to happen. But this cut weight thing, like, it's sad to see. Like, we seen fighters faint, during weigh-in. You know what I'm saying? Some fighters don't even rehydrate good. You know what I'm saying? I knew a story where, let me see, Jason Rosario didn't rehydrate good. I remember, team told me that his that before the fight after the weigh-in with Jamel Charlo, he was gonna fight Jamel Charlo. They was gonna take him to the hospital and stuff like that. Let's not forget Teofimo Lopez should have been in the hospital and stuff like that. We would have George Camboso, but Jason Rosario, I remember that he couldn't take in iron. Like, he started eating, he was vomiting everything that he was taking in because he cut so much. And then you saw how he ended up with Jamel Charlo. Jamel Charlo knocked him out with a jab in a solar plex, and he was catching the Holy Ghost. You know what I'm saying? But he was supposed to be admitted to the hospital that Saturday, and still, so it's sad to see these weight cuts. It's part of the game. I understand it. I think that they just doing too massive weight cuts now. Like before, like there was, how even how Andre Ward said it, right? Andre Ward said, yo, the most in fight week, I gotta lose like 4, 5, 6 pounds. These guys are losing 20 and 18 pounds in a day and a half, 2 days. They doing it's the new science in which they don't want to cut the weight while they're training and sparring and things of that nature. But no, there's a new way, there's a new school of cutting weight, and they want to do drastic weight cut and then rehydrate all the way up again. Snack. But anyway, I just feel that Chris Eubank Jr. should not obey the 10 pounds rehydration clause. And this is why. Because at the end of the day, we understand that this is a dangerous sport. This is a life or death sport. I know it's cliche. I know people don't want to talk about that, but what they said last year, they said an average of 8 to 9. I think it was 8 to 9 fighters die every year in the sport of boxing. 8 to 9 fighters die every year in the sport. That's just too much. It's too much, right? And this ain't basketball. This ain't baseball. This is not hockey. This ain't football. This ain't soccer. This ain't tennis. This ain't figure skating. This ain't swimming. This is boxing, which every blow that's connected to your head is a minor concussion. Every blow that's connected to your head is a minor concussion. Yes, it's how dangerous the sport is. We see how James Toney talk. We see how Riddick Bowe talk. We seen it. We know this. We're the hardcore boxing fans. We know how dangerous this sport is. We see how Thomas Hearns talk. We know how dangerous this sport is. So if the sport is dangerous or already it's a life or death sport. Already you got the cojones to step inside the ring, even if you sparring, even when you're training and stuff like that. Mano y mano, to step inside the ring, you got to have some cojones. Regardless if you rank number 1 to rank number 15,000, you got cojones, right? But why do you have to kill yourself before you fight for the fight? That to me is like backwards thinking. That's mind-boggling. That's the sickening part of the sport of boxing. And things really need to be regulated in that sense. It needs to be regulated. Matchups, commissions, because even the commission doesn't even follow their own rules. Because even in reality, when it comes to competition, that's why there's weight classes for a reason. And I understand what Chris Eubank Sr. be saying, that's breaking the rules. It's breaking the rules. And it is breaking the rules, but they've been breaking the rules every damn event. Because let me tell you like this. If you have a fighter, I'm going to give you an example. If you look at the rules of the commission, whenever you get the chance, look at the rules in the commission. And it says that they will only sanction fights where fighters are in around the same level. The commission has a rule to sanction fight, but sanction the proper matchup. So when you see, okay, I'm gonna give you an example. An amateur, Golden Glove winner, national title winner, Pan American game, World Games, Olympic Games, and stuff like that, right? And has fought so many times in the amateurs and won gold medals or whatever, just a high level prestige amateur, right? And he stepped as a professional. You got a couple of fights, but then you see these fights that are like the guy has 2 wins and 57 losses. The commission should not sanction these type of fights. Like a rank number 1 or rank number 2 should not be fighting a rank number 20 or rank. Like if you in the top 10, you should only be fighting top 10. I know they got like top 15, like a champion. If he wants to volunteer, if he wants to fight a volunteer bout, you got to pick. You got to. They can only sanction, or they can only or like let you fight somebody in the top 15, even if it's a volunteer. But even that's supposed to change. If you're a champion, and if you're a champion, you should only fight the top 5. The top 5 as a volunteer. If you're a champion, if you rank number 10, you should only be fighting 1 through number 10, like 9, 5 versus number 9, 5 versus number 10. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion. But there's certain fights that shouldn't be sanctioned. And look, a lot of people get mad when I talk about this fight. But the same energy that Chris Eubank Sr. has for this fight is the same energy I have for Canelo Alvarez versus Terrence Bud Crawford. Yeah, I said it, damn it. Yeah, and I'm going to keep on saying it. Yeah, I'm going to keep on saying it. The same energy that Chris Eubank Sr. has for this fight is the same energy I've been having for Canelo Alvarez versus Terrence Bud Crawford. And why? It has nothing to do with Terrence Bud Crawford, the name, and Canelo Alvarez. Well, it has to do with them, but this is what I'm trying to say. Bud Crawford is a damn welterweight. Bud Crawford is a damn welterweight. Oh, no, punch, but he fought on 154 and he fought Madrimov. He's a 147-pounder, okay? We saw how ordinary a pound-for-pound fighter looked versus a 10-0 guy. 10-0 guy, and we understand that Terrence Crawford is coming from 135-pound division. And I don't want to hear this dumbass correlation and these dumb comparisons and saying, well, you know what, but Manny Pacquiao is a 8th division world champion. He did it. But no, they gradually did it. Well, Canelo Alvarez is a 4th division champion, and he fought, you know what I'm saying? He fought from the welterweight to all the way to gradually he moved up. Gradually, Floyd Mayweather gradually moved up. Oscar De La Hoya gradually moved up. Terrence Bud Crawford been gradually moving up. The reason why I don't like the matchup is because it is like almost breaking the rules. It doesn't make sense, but it makes sense, but it doesn't make sense. It's a mismatch. It's a total mismatch. The total mismatch that could get somebody killed in the ring. Boxing is turning into full-blown, not full. I'm not gonna say entertain. It's becoming the storyline, the hype, and let's make the fight. Because in all actuality, Chris Eubank Jr. versus Conor Benn is not a good fight. It's not a good fight. Not even the same division. 147-pounder and Chris Eubank Jr. was already getting ready to fight, getting ready to go to the 168-pound division and stay up there. Right? So now he's shrinking, even though that he's been fighting in the 160-pound division, right? And this guy's coming up 2 division up. 2 division up. The last person that came 2 division up, especially in the UK, was Kell Brook. And that has effed up his whole career just for that $5 million. Kell Brook, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you where Kell Brook was at. Kell Brook was already in conversation to fight Floyd Mayweather. I'm not going to say that he was going to fight Floyd Mayweather. That was already a conversation amongst boxing fans. When Floyd Mayweather beat Manny Pacquiao, if you go look at after the fight and see what they was talking about. Who Floyd Mayweather going to be fighting next? They said 3 names. Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman, the champion Kell Brook. Which at the time, Kell Brook had the best win out of the welterweights. Kell Brook beat a prime Sean Porter. But the greed of whom? The same promoter that's promoted Kell Brook to fighting Triple G. When Triple G broke the eye socket of Kell Brook, never was the same. Never was the same. He came right back down to the 147 and got his eyes broken. The same way that if Bud Crawford think Bud Crawford goes to fight Canelo Alvarez, he get his eye socket and come back down to the 147 and get his eye socket broken by Boots Ennis. Smash that like button, ladies and gentlemen. Smash that like. In reality, these fights are no good. It's not. And it is breaking the rules. But we don't care because it's the name. So every rule is bended because it's just too money is generated by these type of matchups. In all actuality, nobody should be sanctioning Canelo versus Bud Crawford. To be honest, nobody should be sanctioning Canelo versus Bud Crawford. Nobody really should be sanctioning Chris Eubank Jr. versus Conor Benn. You know why? Because Conor Benn is not even ranked, I think maybe now. He's not even he's not even a ranked top 5 fighter in his own division. Let's see what Conor Benn is at. I see what kind of Ben is at in the 147-pound division, because he's saying that he is even going to go back to the 140. He even said it. He even said it today. He said, "I'm not even 160. I'm not even 160. I'm not even 154. I am 147 pound." Right? Let me see what kind of Ben is currently ranked in the 147-pound division. Because how is this fight sanctioned? And is a 12-round bout. It is. It is true. They are breaking the rules in every way. Hold on. Let me. Okay, we go to the welterweight division. All right. Conor Benn is not ranked in the WBO top 15. Conor Benn is not ranked in the IBF. Conor Benn is not ranked in the WBC. Yeah, as a matter of fact, he is. He's number 3 in the WBC. He's number 3 in the WBC. Conor Benn is not ranked in the WBA. He's not ranked number top 10 in the Ring magazine. Even Polanco is ranked number 9. Even Polanco. Even Karen is ranked. Conor Benn is not. So how is this possible? So I understand Chris Eubank Sr. I understand what he's trying to say. I understand that he could be looking at this as a circus. He just can't be looking at his son like a circus, or he's looking at this circus and he just doesn't like that they're using his son as a clown or the clown. What's good, Compound? What's good? What's good? It's not supposed on paper. It's not supposed to be a good fight, but it's all hype. Why the boxing world are so hype about something that we know is not even supposed to be a matchup? We know this. Why people are acting like Chris Eubank Sr. is crazy. See, the only problem I have with Chris Eubank Sr., regardless of how he feels, is that if his son still wants you in the corner, and I give this example, right? Because he don't want to deal with that. He just doesn't want to deal with his son. He's a disgrace. Maybe it's maybe a dad feels that his son, if a dad, anybody that got a son out here, if you find out that your son was pájaro, was gay, you may feel that he's a disgrace. You don't support your son being pájaro, Rainbow Army, Skittles, taste the rainbows. Maybe you don't like that. Maybe you're embarrassed. You're embarrassed. You're disappointed. It's a disgrace. You don't support it. You don't support the choices. You don't support the lifestyle. But if your son tells you, Dad, I need you. I need you to. I'm trying to accomplish this, and I need you back. Pause. As a father, you might not agree with decisions, but you still got to be there for your kids, man. And that's my only issue with Chris Eubank Sr. That's the only thing. But everything he's been saying is right on the money. You got to agree with him. And also, he lost a son. And I'm gonna tell you like this, man. That would be sometimes, man. It's when that crosses my mind of me ever having to lose my son and bury my child. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I could recover from that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even recover from losing my granny. But just the thought of losing a child, suicide watch, bro. I don't even know, bro. I don't. That's why I feel that emotion of Chris Eubank Sr. I felt that emotion with Mike Tyson when Mike Tyson lost his daughter, and you saw that eye of the tiger, and he said, "You must go." You understand, right? Remember that interview? When he said, I did cocaine for a week. I just couldn't handle it. You need to go. You understand that, right? Can you take the stuff off? I'm not laughing at the situation, but I'm just laughing at the way that he talk, right? But y'all remember that, right? Shh. Christian Padilla, mi hermano, Christian Padilla. Chavez Jr. wearing those high heels was an embarrassment. Facts. Blue hair, high heels, right? Like, nah, man. So he's going through a lot. So he's seen, he knows the game. He's felt cutting weight. He felt the rehydration. He's felt that before, right? He's felt that before. So he's the first one to say, he said it's gonna be hard. They're gonna kill him. And it looks like Chris Eubank Jr. is dying to make weight. And he said in the interview, he said, I'm gonna be restricted to eat. I'm going to be restricted to eat and drink anything. And what I'm saying is you already got the fight in the bag. But at the end of the day, you're only doing it really for money because you're not getting the blessing of the blessing from your father. So you're doing it for money, but you're already losing the money. But you saying that you basically got a blank check. So you're probably getting a lot of money. Yeah, at the end of the day, if I was Chris Eubank Jr., again, like I've been saying in the beginning of the live, forget about the 10-pound rehydration clause. Why kill yourself before the fight when you're already in a fight and it's a life or death sport? You should be, no fighter goes inside that ring 100% because at the end of the day, you fight to prepare for a fight. There's going to be some lingering injuries. You might have lingering injuries. Something going on, right? Something. I know every fighter say they don't go into the ring 100%, but in the best shape of their life, they still go into the best shape, right? And to go for a fight when you're putting your life on the line, you shouldn't go wounded, right? It's like you send soldiers to go to war. They go to train, they go through the camp. You know what I'm saying? They do everything they need to do to go out there and be the best that they can be. Why are you going to be dead man walking into a fight? It doesn't make sense. For the most part, it doesn't do good. Look at Ryan Garcia. Look how vulnerable Ryan Garcia looked. Look at how Ryan Garcia looked versus Gervonta Tank Davis, and look how Ryan Garcia looked versus Devin Haney. See, it worked for Ryan Garcia. In the end of the day, the fans don't give a damn. Think about it. Ryan Garcia is doing what I'm saying. Nobody gave a damn. When Ryan Garcia whooped Devin Haney, nobody gave a damn. In the moment, oh my God, Ryan Garcia came in at 143, 3 pounds over. Oh, he's not professional. Matter of fact, he took a beer and chugged it. He's not professional, yo. What is wrong with Ryan Garcia? He never fought for a world title. Man, he doesn't take this shit serious. He's unprofessional. He came overweight. He missed weight. He ain't even trying to make weight. Man, what the hell is happening? He's smoking. He's drinking. He's having orgies. Blah, 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 blah. And then he knocks out Devin Haney, and everybody is celebrating Ryan Garcia. In the end of the day, nobody give a damn because in the end of the day, all we give a damn is about the fight. So if I was Chris Eubank Jr., I'll take a page out of Ryan Garcia. Yeah, y'all could diss me right now. I'm not professional. When 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. in London, and then he needs to weigh in again, and it says he's 178 pounds, and oh my God, he's unprofessional. I don't give a damn because if Chris Eubank Jr. knocks out Conor Benn, nobody gonna give a damn. Everybody gonna be like, woohoo! Everybody gonna celebrate. Everybody gonna be talking about how great a performance is. Why are you gonna kill yourself? Why are you gonna kill yourself when you already in a game where you could die in the ring? Doesn't make sense. So no, I know there's contracts, and maybe there's gonna be some contradiction. Maybe somebody could pull some hypocrisy or something like that because I do want fighters and to be professional. Yet, looking at this situation, I'll give you another example. What's Shakur Stevenson? Remember he came, I think it was a pound overweight. I think it was a pound or 2 pounds. What was it? A pound or 2 pounds overweight. Remember? And they stripped him from his world titles. Remember? I think that he was going to be fighting Consocial. Remember that fight? He beat Consocial, and then he moved up. That's it. Nobody cared. But at least he fought comfortably. Nobody cared at the end of the day. It was only news, only a negative news for just today. But come tomorrow, we're not gonna give a damn. We're not gonna give a damn. Or you could end up like Ryan Garcia, like he did with Gervonta Tank Davis. Now you telling me, with the money that they're gonna make, maybe Ryan Garcia learned from his lesson. Now, if Ryan Garcia would have came in 2 pounds over versus Gervonta Tank Davis, do you think, and look at the money that they generated, do you think that Gervonta Tank Davis would have pulled out from that fight? See, I think that now Chris Eubank Jr. is going to put the ball in their court to make the decision. See, it seems like Chris Eubank Jr. is the one that's been making these tough decisions, whether it's how to disrespect them, press conference, smack him with an egg and stuff like that. It's time now they make a decision now. Chris Eubank Jr. He's going to be weighing in what? In like what? Like in 3 hours, right? I think no, like in 4 or 5 hours. He's going to be weighing in again. He should weigh in at 175, 176. Then throughout the day, keep on eating because he got to weigh in at 170. It's not that he walks in the ring at 170. He needs to weigh 170 by 10 a.m., I believe so. 10 a.m. in London. So, boom, you weighing at 175, 176. Pay the fine. Pay whatever fine you need to pay. Pay whatever fine you need to pay. He said, I never thought that I would give a damn about this fight until I seen this man looking sick. Ladies and gentlemen in the chat, who wins this fight, though? On the technical side of things, I think that the natural ability Conor Benn got. Conor Benn got the speed. Conor Benn got the power. Chris Eubank Jr. got the experience. Now, the experience could go either way. Like, yeah, that is something, but necessarily the guy with the experience, half the time he loses too, right? Because at the end of the day, unless it's a rematch, every fight is your first experience. When people, for me, that's one of the most overrated at the highest level. When the best is fighting the best, experience to me is, I don't believe in it. I've seen it too much. The experienced fighter always doesn't win. You know what I'm saying? Especially when the best fighting the best. The experienced fighters always doesn't win. Right? We could go with Vasily Lomachenko and Teofimo Lopez. Oh, Vasily Lomachenko got all the experience. Teofimo Lopez beat him. Devin Haney beat on Vasily Lomachenko. You understand what I'm saying? So the experience, it doesn't win all the time. You know, so I think that Chris Eubank Jr. got a good jab. I don't think he's known for the jab, though. Like people, I don't hear a bunch of people saying, "Yo, Chris Eubank Jr. got one of the best jabs in boxing." He got the height. He does got the height. He's a good polished boxer. He's good. He's not great. I don't think that anybody look at him as an elite. You know what I'm saying? I think that he's more of a, like, if he gets the opportunity to fight certain guys, he could give them a run for their money. He could be like a gatekeeper, even though he never been a world champion. But Conor Benn never been a world champion, and Conor Benn has inactivities, and Conor Benn don't even know where he wants to be in terms of weight class. You know, Conor Benn got leaves himself open with a lot of punches. You know what I'm saying? He does got some short punches, but he also throws some wide hooks and I could see a chopping right. I could see a right hand. You know, I think that Conor Benn also got a good. He's ruthless, right? But I think he's more physical than mental, meaning that, you know what I'm saying, he relies on his physical abilities and stuff like that, and probably not this. And maybe Chris Eubank Jr. got the upper hand when it comes to the IQ. But Conor Benn is still evolving, but he hasn't been in the ring so much. So there is some advantages and disadvantages for both fighters. I just think that Chris Eubank Jr. I'm gonna say it like this: if Chris Eubank Jr. comes in at 170, he tries to make the rehydration and tries to prove it to the world that he's professional. I'm gonna do the rehydration, the 10 pounds rehydration. I'm not gonna go over 170-pound division. I think that Conor Benn is going to do damage. And when you're going through these type of weight cuts, where do you go? Because remember, a lot of people, I think this is what it is also when people talk about cut weight and rehydration, right? People just think about, when you hear rehydration, you think of, oh man, let me fuel my body. Let me fuel my body. Let me have something in my stomach. Oh, I'm thirsty. Then go say, oh man, his lips are dried up and stuff like that. Get you some. Nah, man. It's the brain. You don't got enough circulating in that brain. And let me tell you like this. 10 hours, because that's all he got. He gotta be 170 pounds in 10 a.m. He's gonna be fighting at 4, right? I'm talking about he's gonna be fighting not even 24 hours. It's not enough. It's not enough to rehydrate the brain. It's not enough. It's not enough days. So, and look at how he's looking right now. If he comes to that 170, if he tries to make that 10-pound rehydration, man, he's gonna get his ass kicked. Conor Benn's gonna go to the body, gonna go on top, and he's just not. His body is not gonna withstand those type of blows. It's like I told you. I remember his body's gonna be is not gonna be good. His body's not gonna be good, and his head, his temple, his equilibrium. He touched that, he's gonna go down. I'll give you an example. I'm gonna give you different examples, right? When you rehydrating like that. Jason Rosario versus Jermell Charlo, like I said earlier on. How did Jermell Charlo KO Jason Rosario? A jab to the solar plex. How did Ryan Garcia fold it? Body shot. Chris Eubank Jr., if I was him, I would be eating anything I want. Y'all don't want the fight? I don't give a damn. I was born with a silver spoon anyway. That's what... Chris Eubank Jr. does not have to suffer, nor Conor Benn in all actuality has to suffer. But in the essence of Eubank versus Benn, Eubank is up. The Eubanks don't have to prove nothing to the Benns. The Benn has to prove something to the Eubank. I am giving you an opportunity to tie up the scorecard. I don't need to sacrifice like this for you. You need to sacrifice this to fight me, a Eubank. My father already beat your father. Second fight is a draw. You haven't beat the Eubanks. The Eubanks don't need the Benns. And in all actuality, and the way that Eubank, think about it. Also think about this. There was rumors before this fight got signed that Eubank was also a possible opponent for Canelo Alvarez in the UK. So I don't have to, and let me tell you like this, whatever he getting all the money in the world, right? Right? He getting a lot of money. Also, Chris Eubank Jr. already had momentum. Conor Benn got no momentum. Chris Eubank Jr. has momentum. He has momentum in which he could land a big fight other than Conor Benn. Even with this fight, even Turkey Al Sheikh did say that the winner will get Canelo Alvarez, probably possible February 2026 out there in Reha season. But Eubank isn't already in a great position. Think about it. He's already in a great position. Think about it. They was called Even remember Demise Andre was calling out Chris Eubank Jr. and a lot of y'all wanted to shit on him because he was calling out Chris Eubank Jr. Oh, look, Andre calling out, and look, that would have been a good fight. That would have been a good fight. Chris Eubank Jr. versus Demise Andre would have been a good fight. But Chris Eubank Jr. is already in talks. There was in talks of a Canelo Alvarez fight. If Chris Eubank Jr. loses to Conor Benn, 147-pounder haven't accomplished nothing in the sport of boxing. He's done. He's done. Finish. Done. And maybe Chris Eubank Sr. sees like, you know what? I don't think that maybe Chris Eubank Sr. don't believe that his son could win in those conditions. And he knows that is going to affect his legacy as well. I don't think that Chris Eubank Sr. and put it this way, minus the rehydration. If this was in 160 with no rehydration clause, no 10 pound, you could come whatever you want to. You could rehydrate to whatever. On 168, I don't think that Chris Eubank Sr. thinks a lot of his son without him as his trainer and him moving his career. I don't know what's the fine. It probably each pound is like $100K or something like that. Because I don't even know how he's paying 100. How is he paying 500K for a 160.2? I don't know. That's a lot. That's a lot. 500K? Golly. That's too much. But who y'all got on the technical side of things? Who y'all got? Who's a better, all right, put it this way. Who's a better fighter in the chat right now? Who's a better fighter? Benn or Eubank Jr.? Who's a better fighter? If both of these guys was in the same weight class, if both of these guys was 147 pounders, or if both of these guys was two middleweights, who is a better fighter? If both of these guys were in the same weight classes and it wasn't all this politics and stuff like that, I would choose Conor Benn. If Chris Eubank Jr. was 147 pounder, like a legit 147 pounder, I would pick Conor Benn. If Conor Benn was a legit middleweight, I would have picked Conor Benn. I think that Conor Benn got more of an upside. I think Eubank is good, but he just didn't have the natural ability that Conor Benn. Conor Benn is explosive. Chris Eubank Jr. is not explosive. You know, he got to work on what he got, but to gain all those arsenals of Chris Eubank Jr., he's still a good fighter. Benn doesn't even look. Benn came in at what, 154? 156. That means he's had a great camp. Great camp. He didn't come in at 160. He didn't trying to, let me gain muscle to get up there. No, this is just natural. This is him just, it looks like Conor Benn been in the gym just working on his craft. Didn't have to pay too much attention about the weight. Benn don't look like his body. He looks strong. He doesn't look drained, nothing. Is emotions going to get the best of him? Stamina. It's kind of been, you know, he's had decisions and stuff like that, but 12 rounds, that's a lot right there. Chris Eubank Jr. got more experience going to 12. But what happens, the round goes. If you don't get knocked out early or get hurt, what about when that championship rounds come, or the 8th round or the 9th round, and you feel depleted, you don't got no power? I'm historically, what they say, the big good fighter could beat the small good fighter. But we get these stipulations. Again, if Chris Eubank Jr. makes the 170-pound rehydration clause, bet on Conor Benn. He's the underdog anyway, right? Who's the underdog? Conor Benn or Eubank? I know. After this, I know the betting line changed. I don't even bet on boxing, but I know something changed. You know what I'm saying? Also going on in the sport of boxing, y'all already know. Times Square, New York City. Ryan Garcia back in the ring. Devin Haney back in the ring. Teofimo Lopez back in the ring. Jose Ramirez, former unified champion in the junior welterweight division, moving up. Wanted to move up a long time ago. One want to see what type of Devin Haney going to show up. Devin Haney said that he feels like he's in the best shape of his career. Rapstar says Benn. Look like that Devin Haney's in the say about all these fighters say that. I mean, this is the best camp I ever had. I feel in the best shape of my career. You know? The card's on Benn's side. It is, man. It is. Also, Conor Benn was knocking out William Skull. William Skull is going to be fighting. Canelo Alvarez. He's been sparring him, and he knocked him. What his father said, he stopped him in the 8th round. Now we all know a lot of people don't think highly of William Skull. Let's be real. Let's be honest. A lot of people ain't thinking nothing of William Skull. He is used as like a puppet. Not even Turkey Al Sheikh even acknowledge William Skull. Hey, Turkey, what happened? You never even asked me a question in the press conference. You asked Canelo Alvarez a question. You didn't ask me. I don't give a fuck about you. Who the fuck are you? Who are you? The only reason I'd have you fighting Canelo Alvarez is because we want that stinking bout for my buddy, my friend, my best friend, Bud Crawford, to fight to become a 3-division undisputed world champion. Nobody give a fuck about you. William Skull put on, hey, come on, Turkey. You came to Radio City Musical the other day and you asked Canelo like if I know nobody, what happened? None of these. No repecking to me. What happened to Kiyashiki? No repecking me. Oh, you asked Canelo Alvarez if he's going to get the nice piece. What about my piece? I mean, me pizza. What about my slice? I want a piece of the belt. Yang. I want to become undisputed. What you talk about? My opportunity to become undisputed. What about my opportunity? Turkey says, William Skull, nobody knows you, motherfucker. When I Google you, I said William Skull, and it came William Shakespeare, and they're trying to show his skull when he died. Nobody knows you, motherfucker. Shit. It's like I've been saying a lot of times, man. People was going crazy when we found out who William Skull is. Everybody was going crazy. Damn, who the fuck is William Skull? Who's that? Remember Marquez said, who is that? Marquez was like, we don't even know. I don't even know who he is. Canelo Alvarez like, I don't even know who he is. Nobody know who William Skull is. That shit, like, it looked like he just and it just appeared in the rankings. Crazy Padilla con los 10 pesos de Super Chari Chari Parque. The first Super Chat of the night. Me dice, Punch, the truth teller. Para una pizza con Coca-Cola. What if Eubank Jr. is faking it? And in reality, can make 155 pounds. Just gave up the 500 as a bluff. Hey, yo, Christian, you know ain't nobody gonna give no 500K for a bluff. This is the fight game. This is prize fighting. Ain't nobody coughing up 5K just for the bluff, Christian. Come on, Christian, I know. The only thing that I did, I felt like it was. Maybe Chris Eubank Sr. is going to show up. As a matter of fact, Chris Eubank Sr. said, good looking out, man. Appreciate you. God bless you with a $10 super chat, my brother. Chris Eubank Sr. did say This fight is not going to happen. No, this fight, I promise. I told you these fight. Remember, I told you the first time. These fights not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And I think that Chris Eubank Sr. is going to call his son. Say, hi, son, Junior. Hi, Junior. I will be in your corner. I will be in your corner. Okay? I will be in your corner. And then Chris Eubank Jr. gets happy that his father's going to be in his corner. And then when they're presenting Conor Benn, he's stepping inside the ring or coming down the aisle with his father, Nigel Benn, the Dark Destroyer, accompanied by the Dark Destroyer, legend, for former champion, Nigel Benn, and Conor Benn. Oh, the crowd go wild. And then they announce Chris Eubank Jr. from London, England. Chris Eubank Jr. accompanied by the legend, the Surf, Chris Eubank Sr. And the cry, 65,000 people goes wild. He's here. Yes, he's gonna be in his son's corner. Yes, mate. Yes, I knew you'd come around. And everybody's celebrating and stuff like that. Oh my God, it's a beautiful moment. Yes. And then they step inside the ring. Right? And when the referees reading the instructions and stuff like that, this the belt line and stuff like that, this the belt line and stuff like belt line, and Nigel Benn is looking at Chris Eubank Sr. and Conor Benn is looking at Chris Eubank Jr. And we see the picture and the whole crowd is like, oh my God, everybody got their goosebumps, right? Everybody got goosebumps. Everybody's up in their seats. Everybody's like taking pictures on their phones and stuff like that. What a moment. And then the bell rings, ding! And then Chris Eubank Jr. gets a towel out of his pocket and throws it. And the referee has no choice but to say, Conor Benn won. And then he says, I told you this fight was never going to happen. Can you imagine if Chris Eubank Sr. does that? He goes to the son's corner, say, I will train. I will be in your corner. I will be in your corner. I want to be your voice. And he takes the towel and throws the towel before the fight. They're all right. Ding, round number 1. And right before they step, boom, he throws in the towel. I said, my son will not fight. I told the world, my son will not fight. I don't give a fuck. I lost my son and I would not lose this one. Come on. Father, why you do that, Father? Father, I told you, you will not fight. No, you will break the rules. And everybody's throwing shit at Chris Eubank Sr. I don't give a damn. My son will not end up like Michael Wallace. My son is not going to be a clown for the talkie show. Yo, imagine. They throwing bottles. They throwing Budweisers. Get the fuck, you bloody asshole. Get the fuck out of that country. You know, he's like, I'm the chef. I ain't the chef. Man, take that Walmart badge off. Hey, yo, Chris Eubank Sr., man, you got that badge from Target. He snatched that shit. Hey, yo, Chris Eubank Jr.'s badge is fucking Woody from Toy Story. His badge. Motherfucker really think that he is sheriff. Chris Eubank Sr. stole Woody from Toy Story's badge. That's a thing that loco, man. See, look, some fighters, they get punch drunk, but then certain fighters, they don't sound punch drunk, but algo le pasó a esa gente. Why do we, this one thing, why do people expect fighters to be normal? I'm gonna say it like this: For me, it's abnormal if, especially if a fighter has a long career, right? If a fighters have at least over 50 fights, no, or at least over 30 fights, at least over 30, and, if you, and a couple of hard ones, a couple of hard fights. I don't expect fighters to be normal. Like when people be like, "Yo, look at your Charlo on the press conference, yo. Yo, why is Chris Eubank Sr. talking like that, bro? Yo, why is Adrian Broner like that, bro? Yo, why is Earl Spence like that, bro? Why is T.O. like that? Why is Ryan like that? Why is Javante Tank Davis already talking like he punched drunk? Not because he had 250 already amateur bouts. Why I don't expect why we expect fighters to be normal? They get punched in the head for a living. Most of these fighters been fighting since they was a child. They've been sparring. They've been fighting since they was. Yo, Ryan Garcia started fighting at 6. T.O. started fighting at what before that? 5, 6, 2 years old, whatever it was. By the time they're grown men, do you know how many wars they already had? Like, I'm gonna tell you like this: if anybody know world-class fighters, like personally know world-class fighters, you personally have gone to a training camp, you personally have witnessed sparrings. The sparring, and even Roy Jones Jr. has eloquently always stated this, that the damage is done in the gym. Yo, I've been in the gym with I'm gonna say, let me. I'm gonna give you a name that's why I was saying, like, let's say, let me see. Henry Cedeño Martinez versus Scooby, right? Scooby is like the protege of Javante Tank Davis, Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. gym with Barry Hunter, Patrice Harris, Kenny Porter. Yo, if y'all see this sparring and then y'all see their fights, yo, that sparring right there, that sparring that I seen from Henry La Bazooka Cedeño Martinez versus Scooby took life out of both of these guys. I talked to James Toney a couple of months ago, and he's really punch drunk. Yeah, man. He's really punch drunk. I could barely understand him, had to carry a conversation. Yeah, man. And maybe in his mind, he think he's just talking and elaborating. Nah, you know who got like that drastically? And I don't think a lot of people want to tell him. A lot of people don't want to tell him. Shane Mosley, bro. Y'all listen to Shane Mosley? Yo, from Shane Mosley, like in the span like 3 years, 2 years, Shane Mosley don't sound the same no more, bro. Shane Mosley is punch drunk. And I don't think a lot of people want to tell him. Shane Mosley is getting there, like. And the older he gets, it's going to sound like that. Because remember what they said, it comes later. Shane Mosley is getting, he don't sound good. Shane Mosley does not sound good. Yeah, but how can you be ready to withstand pain? That's when sparring comes, the poker face. All that, you know what I'm saying? Sparring is not only for technique, but also look at what a rap star. Why you think Mike Tyson was sparring without headgear? Because he wanted to simulate a real fight. He wants to simulate, he wants to feel the impact of that punch, that pain. So when look at Mike Tyson used to spar without headgear. That was his thing, right? But look at Mike Tyson when he got hit in the professional level. Even when he got knocked down, he didn't show, he always had a poker face. He didn't show the oh shit, like Mike Tyson, even when he took when he went down or whatever, he still was, but that comes in sparring because you get knocked down in sparring as well. You get days in sparring as well. So trust me, man, man, I seen who else? I see Tio spar some super middleweight. On the lead up, I remember Teofimo Lopez was sparring some super middleweight. He looked like he's a light heavyweight. To be honest, the guy that he was sparring, he looked like he was a light heavyweight. The second guy that came in the sparring after the first 3 rounds, there was another guy, right? And Tio hurt him to the body, right? Tio hurt him to the body. But that sparring session was a better fight than the Loma fight, was a better fight than the Jameen Ortiz fight, was a better fight than the Sando Martin fight, was a better fight than the if y'all would have seen that sparring session from Teofimo Lopez, you'll be like, damn, this kid is an animal. But it wasn't easy. It wasn't an easy sparring session. That guy was pushing Teofimo Lopez back in the ropes, and he was, you know what I'm saying? It was a tough. I said, damn, yo, this shit is better than the fight itself. This thing is better than his fights. You know what I'm saying? And that happens a lot. Look at the Gervonta Tan Davis and the Devin Haney. Look at their sparring decision. Look at Ryan Garcia versus Rolly. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes the sparring, sparring, they technique and, work on technique, work on situations, work on the jab, work on just a reflex. Like I've been in training camp with Demise Andre. Demise Andre will go just a round or two, not throwing no punches. And he'll have probably a junior welterweight or welterweight fast, right? And he works on his reflex, works on his counter, but not trying to counter. Work on reflex, work on blocking shots. You know what I'm saying? I seen a sparring session with him not throwing no punches, and him just working, just catching the speed, throw combination, catching, shooting, not shooting, but catching, ducking, slipping, and stuff like that. Like sparring, it depends on what you work when it comes to sparring. But that's gonna be a good event. What's the upset? If there's gonna be anybody that's gonna pull the upset this week. As a matter of fact, let's talk about in incorporating all these fights. Incorporating with the Conor Benn and Chris Eubank Jr., the Times Square card, the Canelo Alvarez card, and then Naoya Inoue card, right? Who is going to be the surprise? Who's going to catch the upset? Who's going to be the surprise? Is Jaime Munguia going to knock out Bruce, or is Bruce going to win again? Who's going to win that fight? What about Chris Padilla? He said, today I watched Barbosa get dropped and hurt by a fighter named Jonathan Chicas in a fight that happened in 2017. Tio going to KO him. I hopefully he get a stoppage. But again, I don't look at Teofimo Lopez like a knockout artist. I think that he got power, but I don't think that I think when Tio goes for the knockout, when he has his mind, I'm going for the knockout. I think that's where he probably can make certain mistakes, so don't look as polished and happy as comfortable. When Teofimo Lopez just boxes, because he's a boxer punch, he always got power. It comes. It just like even think about when he knocked out Richard Comey. Like he was already following up with a left hook. He just got caught with a good shot. But Teofimo Lopez already was a combination punch because he shot the right hand and he was going for the left hook, but already Richard Comey went down. You know what I'm saying? I think he's there to hurt you, but not necessarily I'm gonna knock you out with this punch. You know what I'm saying? So I think that Teofimo Lopez is a great counter puncher. I think that Teofimo Lopez is a guy that could overwhelm you, break you down. I think this fight, this is the fight that I think it could go down. I think this fight could turn out like Pedro Campa, like a Pedro Campa fight. You know what I'm saying? I think he could stop on the Barbosa. But I think in a fashion like he stopped Pedro Compa. And Pedro Compa is if you saw the fight with Pedro Compa and Brandon Lee, he's tough. When's the last time that Pedro Compa? Yeah, I think Pedro Compa is tough. If you've seen that fight, so I got Teofimo Lopez winning that fight for sure. Um, you know, he threw a lot of punches in his last fight as well, and that's something I like Teofimo Lopez throw punches because in the end of the day, he's a big lightweight, but he's a small junior welterweight. So I got Teofimo Lopez. I got Teofimo Lopez winning for sure. Probably stopping him in the later rounds, or just pitch almost a shutout. Dímelo, mi hermano. The upset, Haney versus Ramirez. See, Ramirez just doesn't see Ramirez, in my opinion, is a better fighter when he's on. He's a better fighter than Ona Barbosa. He lost to Ona Barbosa. You know what I'm saying? I think that Jose Ramirez lost the love. You know what I'm saying? I think that now Ramirez is doing it because there's some checks on the table, and now he put himself in position to capitalize and get these checks. But I don't know how much. I think that Ramirez got the skills. I don't think that he gets hit a lot now. I don't think that's gonna be the upset, in my opinion. But we don't know where Devin Haney is at, though. We don't know where he's at in his head. You know what I'm saying? If he get touched, how's he gonna feel? I know he just started sparring, right? I know he didn't spar for a long time, so we'll see. I got Devin Haney being Jose Ramirez, the Rolly Romero. I think that Ryan Garcia is smart enough to. I think Rolly Romero could catch Ryan, but I think that even if Ryan gets caught, I think that Ryan Garcia have showed, that he could take a solid blow to the head. You know what I'm saying? He could get up. He could get up from that as well. He got up with Javante Davis. He got up with Luke Campbell. So I think that Ryan Garcia got the particular fortitude to, even if he get caught by Rolly Romero, he still gets up and finish the deal. I think that Ryan Garcia is too good. I think he got a good jab, underrated jab. I think he got an underrated jab. I think he got an underrated right hand. A lot of people was talking about the left hook, but he got a good right hand as well. So and he got a good body work too, and he's a finisher. He know how to finish. When he smells blood, Ryan Garcia gets you. He hits you with a lot of combination of punches. I think that Ryan Garcia got one of the best killer instinct of all of the contemporaries. I think he put the punches together in bunches better than a lot of his contemporaries when he gets you. Um, I don't know if that's gonna be the upset. Um, the upset victory. Is William Skull gonna upset Canelo Alvarez? People are gonna be like, hell no, but we never know. We never know. Is Barbosa gonna be the upset? Is Teofimo Lopez gonna lose to Barbosa? I think that people have been talking about that may be the upset. I don't think so. I don't think there's gonna be the upset. And if Ona Barbosa fights with emotions, I think Teofimo Lopez is gonna take full advantage of it. The only thing is that I think that people should be worried about is how the preparation was. See, one of the things that Teofimo Lopez did say, and Teofimo Lopez Sr. did say when they was going to work with Eddie Reynoso, it was structure. They haven't had no structure. So I think if anybody want to ask Teofimo Lopez the question, and during media day, how was the structure this time? If publicly they stated that was one of the main issue. That's the main issue that they've been having is structure, having a structured training camp. And Teofimo Lopez already knew that he was gonna train with Eddie Reynoso, and then in the last minute they had to adjust. They had to adjust where they're gonna do the training camp. Okay, it's gonna be in Florida. Well, who bringing their old coach back? It was like all in the last minute. I think they had 6 weeks left to prepare for all of that. Prepare for get sparring partners. Get this. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's a question for the media to ask. How was the preparation? It was their structure. But that ain't gonna be the upset in my opinion. is William Skull gonna upset Canelo Alvarez? William Skull looks motivated. I just don't think that. I looked at the record. I look at, man, he's boring. He don't got power like that. Just 2 fights ago, he was fighting 8-rounders. And 8-rounders versus nobodies. Even the way that he got his belt, man, it should have been a draw. Nobody should have got that belt. You know what I'm saying? I seen the fight. I'm like, nah. He's gonna be in survival mode. If Canelo Alvarez don't stop this dude, it's going to make the Bud and Canelo Alvarez fight even more attractive, because if Canelo Alvarez doesn't knock out William Skull, stop William Skull. Like, when's the last time Canelo Alvarez stopped somebody, though? That was Caleb Plant. That was a while ago. You know, and that's why a lot of people have been questioning Canelo Alvarez's power, or has he declined? Because, yeah, he's hurting dudes, but he ain't stopping dudes. But then if you look at Canelo Alvarez, he never in the elite level really was that guy. He didn't stop Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. either. You know what I'm saying? Like, Canelo Alvarez is also not this knockout artist. He didn't stop Lara. He didn't stop Trout. You know what I'm saying? He didn't stop Cotto. He didn't stop Mosley. Let's go with the Canelo Alvarez. Well, this misconception, like, if Canelo Alvarez lost his power, he don't knock nobody out. Let's see how many knockouts he's had in the past. Hold on. Look, okay. Let's go with the names. Let's go with the names. Respectable names. Trout. Look. Shane, let's go with the respectable names. Shane Mosley, decision. Austin Trout, decision. Floyd Mayweather took it to decision. Lara, decision. Cotto, smaller decision. Julio Cesar Chavez, decision. Triple G, 3 decisions. Daniel Jacob, decisions. Callum Smith, decision. Billy Joe saw him the stoppage, Kenneth Plant stoppage. Bivol went to a decision. He didn't get stopped even. Ryder decision, Charlo decision, Munguia decision, Berlanga decision. In all actuality, Canelo Alvarez is not truly a knockout artist. So when we be like, so now, am I expecting him to stop William Skull? If I was a betting man, I'll bet the decision. Canelo Alvarez is not a knockout artist. He got pop, he got power. You know what I'm saying? But he's not this knockout. Like, for me, a knockout artist was Wilder, was Tyson, Mike Tyson, was knockout artist. You know, Foreman, you know, these heavyweights of the past, like, that was knocking people out. You know what I'm saying? Not even Muhammad Ali was a knockout artist. Who else? Who else a knockout artist? Canelo got pop, you know. So I don't know, man. I'm probably losing a little faith on Canelo Alvarez's power, but not power. He's still hurting dudes. I think that Canelo Alvarez's chin is just, you know what I'm saying, different. That allows him to move up. You know what I'm saying? It allows him to sustain, and, you know, and I don't think that a guy like William Skull nor Bud Crawford could really, you know, test his chin. The only people that could test his chin is the 175 pounders. And Bivol already tested his chin, and Bivol couldn't knock out Canelo Alvarez. So the only one that could really test his chin, in my opinion, is Beterbiev or Benavidez. So one of the people, in my opinion, that could really truly test his chin, like, you're gonna knock him out, that is known for power. Now, can you challenge him when it comes to boxing skills, overall skills? I think you could challenge him. That's one thing that, Canelo Alvarez, even though him being a small guy, don't throw enough punches, in my opinion. But I'm trying to stay positive and not and yes, because Canelo Alvarez has done enough in the sport of boxing in which he could retire right now and be a future Hall of Famer. You know what I'm saying? Regardless if I want to see the fight with him and David Benavidez and stuff like that. If that fight don't happen, you know what I'm saying? He's still going to the first battle Hall of Fame. I think in years people gonna forget about that situation. You know what I'm saying? The David Benavidez and Canelo Alvarez retire tomorrow. Yeah, there's gonna be people, man. How you gonna retire without fighting David Benavidez? But for a couple of years, and then when he's into the Hall of Fame and we see his accolades and his resume, you can't. It's not gonna be a thing. It's not gonna be a thing. But yeah. So Times Square card, the UK card, all these cards going to be in New York. We also got Richardson Hitchens going to be fighting George Camboso. I think Richardson Hitchens is going to do a number of George Camboso, in my opinion. Who else? We got, of course, July 11th. We got Amanda Serrano versus Katie Taylor. Y'all already know who I'm rocking with, Amanda Serrano. Hey, yo, did y'all hear Clarissa Shields freestyle? Oh, she was trying to diss the kid. Punch Run Boxing. Hey, yo, Clarissa Shields threw a freestyle trying to diss your boy Punch Run. Pero mira, está más bonita la tigre ahora. She's putting that extra makeup. She like, oh, this motherfucker trying to say I look like Antonio Tavo with a wig. Watch. This is what I'm going to do. Hey, yo, dentist, fix my teeth. You know what I'm saying? Hey, yo, weave, girl, weave. I need a new pair of weaves and a New York cast so I can send a message to that motherfucker and stuff like that. No, Clarissa Shields, for the last, está bonita. She looking kind of pretty. Hey, yo, Clarissa Shields, you looking pretty. All right? But see, that's why, you know what I'm saying? It's all a little jokey joke. You feel me? It's all a little jokey joke, Clarissa. You know? I got Clarissa on her toes now. I got to look cute. They trying to. Right? Hey, yo, Clarissa Shields looking as bad as any other time. But that's that Punch Run pressure. That's that pressure. Like, oh, all right, I gotta show out. No, said we're buena. In the last photo ops, said we're buena ahora. But we said we're buena. She's pretty. It's just her attitude that stinks. Yeah, man. But that's what I mean. She think that she could do the Floyd Mayweather. Nah, Floyd Mayweather is a different animal. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that Clarissa Shields has the opponent. Like Clarissa Shields has to talk about Amanda Serrano and have to talk about Katie Taylor and have to talk about Alicia Baumgartner. She's arguing with little girls. That's like with smaller girls, right? That's like Tyson Fury arguing with Canelo. That's what it is. That's like Tyson Fury arguing with Canelo. Because we all know that there's no girls up there. And to be honest, in all reality, Clarissa Shields is ahead of a game in the division, ahead of her time in the divisions that there's not really a lot of competition, right? She really don't got no opponent anymore. She could fight Shadeja Green, but outside of that, and Shadeja Green, yeah, she did struggle a little bit in her last fight. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully she does better in this next outing. We could see a Clarissa Shields versus Crew DeJourn. I know they fought in her first fight. She fought Crew DeJourn, and Crew DeJourn has gotten a lot better in the professional level and stuff like that, and more accomplished. Right? See, right there, if they was fighting for undisputed for something, that's a respectable matchup again to have. And then, but she don't got no fights. We don't know. Ain't no fights for her. That's why I even said a long time ago. I like she's entertaining me, in my opinion. She's entertaining in the MMA world. She's ruthless in the MMA. She goes for it. She trying to knock somebody out. But I'm not saying that she don't try. And when in boxing, I just think that she don't get it like that. But it is what it is. But yeah, there's gonna be a lot of events. What's the other New York event? Oh yeah, it was the Egabalanga. Oh yes, I'm gonna be talking about this. I'm gonna be talking about this for a while, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about it just a bit. Boricua versus Dominicano soy. Then who's gonna win this fight? Who's gonna win this fight, ladies and gentlemen? Dominican versus Puerto Rico. Dominican, and Subriel Matias. Half Puerto Rican, half Dominican. I think his father's Dominican, but you know what I'm saying? He never was raised with his father, so and he was born in Puerto Rico as well, so he considered himself more Puerto Rican than anything else. And Alberto Poyo, el Dominicano, el Platanero, el Manguco, el Torre Golpe. We got this fight. Maybe now this is the beginning of a new rivalry and a true rivalry. See, I think other nationalities in boxing don't understand this rivalry. See, probably the Mexicans don't understand. The Mexicans in the East Coast, they understand this rivalry when it comes to sports. They understand this rivalry, but and from the Spanish culture, now I understand why there's Canelo Alvarez fans that don't want him to face David Benavidez. And now looking at the Latino community, I understand why. You know why? Because Mexicans and Ecuadorians have this underlying, not hatred, but if you say yo to an Ecuadorian, what are you, Mexican? They get mad. If you tell a Mexican you Ecuadorian, they get mad, right? If you tell a Puerto Rican, yo, you Puerto Rican, you be like, nah, I'm Dominican. You tell a Dominican, Dominican, yo, you Dominican? Nah, I'm Puerto Rican. There's this competition, friendly competition. I'm not saying bad. There is a friendly competition because I think that Dominican and Puerto Ricans, we're like first cousins, right? We're like first cousins. But this rivalry right here in the East Coast, when it comes to baseball, bragging rights, like this is a rivalry. Dominican versus Puerto Rico, but it's never been a rivalry in the sport of boxing because the promoters don't understand this rivalry. For whatever reason, they just don't understand it, but they're gonna understand it. And when this fight is gonna be in June, this fight is gonna be when? It's gonna be in June. No. As a matter of fact, it's gonna be in July 12th because it's gonna be right after the day after Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano. It's gonna be July 12th. And you got Puerto Rican, you got Edgar Berlanga. They're gonna be the Puerto Ricans that come out. You got Shakur Stevenson that's half Puerto Rican as well. You got Roberto Puello, Dominican, and Subriel Matias, Puerto Rican. You got David Morrell, Cuban. And maybe in the undercard, probably we'll get Pablo. Probably Pablo Valdez is going to be in the undercard. Hopefully, he's in the undercard as well. He's Dominican. He brings a lot of fans from New York, Brooklyn, and stuff like that. LES, you know. So probably Pablo is going to be in the undercard as well. He sells tickets, and he's Dominican. So this is going to be a great fight. It's going to be a great, if it's promoted very, very well. If promoters, I'm telling you, if promoters know what they're doing, they need to hire me for this fight. Because I could give them a story. Like I could start that conversation. I could start that beef amongst, even though friendly competition, but I could start it out. Because look, let me say the Dominicans got Polanco, Santana, Alberto Puello, Hector Garcia, Carlos Adames, Henry, Eury. Elvis Rodriguez just the last fight, but there's people that feel like he got robbed as well. Not robbed, but the people feel like it could have gone either way. Got enough Dominicans is coming up. You know what I'm saying? Hey, David Benavidez, his mother's half Dominican, half Ecuadorian. So, damn, only if David Benavidez used to be repping. Man, watch when I see David Benavidez. I'm gonna give him a Dominican flag. I want to see why you ain't. I'm gonna ask him why you don't rep it. Why you don't rep it? You because you want to eat you in the West Coast. You don't understand in the East Coast. You got a bunch of fans that you don't even know. But yeah, there's gonna be a good fight. Great matchup. Great matchup. But ladies and gentlemen, man, I'm getting sleepy out here, man. That's my prediction. My prediction is I'm rooting for Conor Benn. My prediction is if Chris Eubank Jr. makes the rehydration clause, I mean, makes weight, the rehydration clause weight. He comes in at 170 or below. He's gonna get stopped. He's gonna get stopped. If Chris Eubank Jr. tries to be professional and what he signed on the contract. If Chris Eubank Jr. comes in at 170 or less on fight night, he will get knocked out by Conor Benn. If Chris Eubank Jr. comes in over the rehydration pound limit, he wins. That's my prediction. That's my prediction. If Chris Eubank Jr. comes in at 174, 175 when he gets weighed in a couple of hours, you know what? Chris Eubank. But I be rooting for Conor Benn. I like him. I like him I like his style better. I'm more entertained. I like the dynamic. I like his growth, and I like the potential fights that he could have as well. But let me know what y'all think, man. Y'all already know if you haven't subscribed to the channel, smash the like button. It's Punch Drunk Boxing, a.k.a. Mr. Moonshine himself, a.k.a. El Adobo de Sazón, El Borracho, Pastor de Boxeo. Love y'all. God bless. And on to the next.